Welcome to the Sauce Pod.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Sauce Pod. I'm your host, Taylor Peterson, and we've got so much to cover today for creators, entrepreneurs, anyone that's building stuff on social media or playing around with these cool tech tools that we're using in our everyday lives now to make content easier and more efficient and make our workflows better than ever. So here's a quick rundown of what I'm going to be telling you about in this week's episode. This is all the big stuff that happened over the last week, stuff that you should probably be keeping a pulse on. I'm going to help you get through it. First off, DALL-E 3 has started quietly rolling out in Bing. ChatGPT web browsing is back, in case you didn't know. Google's AI search SGE is now getting expanded to more users than ever, this time with the youths. Pika Labs, you know, that cool text-to-video AI generator that you can use in Discord, it's launched a cool new feature where you can actually encrypt hidden text. TikTok is considering a paid tier for users that would guarantee an ad-free experience. LinkedIn is out with more than ever profile call-to-action buttons. And of course, the X rundown. What the hell is going on over at the platform formerly known as Twitter? It involves some questionable tactics around communications, as well as Linda Yaccarino's really bizarre interview. We'll talk about it. So on the AI front, we'll start there. DALL-E 3 is officially rolling out in Bing, although it's been doing so quietly. We're also waiting for it to hit ChatGPT, although some users are saying they already have it. It's rolling out this month. Make sure that you refresh those ChatGPTs whenever you can. Basically, DALL-E 3 has been described as sort of a leap ahead of the competitors when it comes to things like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. DALL-E 3 is an enhanced image generator. It's the third iteration of the DALL-E text-to-image model, and it seems to be available via Microsoft's Image Creator tool, which is part of its AI browser-based AI suite. So if you are looking for early access, Bing is definitely a good backdoor to use for now. You can try it. We linked it in last week's newsletter, so you can grab it there. We do see that it's rolling into more users who are in ChatGPT regularly now, so that's been promised to roll out this month, so you can keep an eye on it. Lots of cool stuff that people have been doing with it, from running the same prompts in Midjourney and trying it with DALL-E. If there was ever a tool that came out that could really go head-to-head with Midjourney, I think it's going to be DALL-E 3. Plus, not to mention, the text generation capabilities are insane. People are making logos, putting it on t-shirts, all kinds of cool stuff that you can do just by generating the text in your prompt. Another cool thing that I've been reading about, again, I haven't experienced this yet because I haven't had access to it, but people are actually using the natural language of the model to get the prompts that they want. So whereas in Midjourney, where you have to kind of like mess around and get the right prompt, and you might have to try different keywords or phrases or parameters, and you kind of need to know how to work the prompt a little bit, DALL-E 3 doesn't do that. You can actually just use natural language to describe exactly what you're looking for, and it generates an image that it thinks that fits that description. So it's different from a prompt because you can actually see what the prompt that's used to create the image that DALL-E creates, but it's not exactly what you type into it. What you're describing to it is a visual description, all of which is to say you don't have to go above and beyond to worry about prompt engineering with DALL-E 3. You can really get to the meat of what you're looking to create with just describing and chatting with the tool. Right now, you can do that in Bing Image Creator, and it's rolling out to some users in ChatGPT+. Let us know your thoughts if you've tested it. Oh, and in case you didn't know, ChatGPT web surfing is so back. When you go into ChatGPT, if you're a Plus user, you have that little drop down at the top, and you'll see that web browsing with Bing is now an option. That was missing for a few months now. People have been complaining about it, especially with competitors able to kind of have that feature innately in their platform. So now it's back, presumably with some tighter restrictions. I was hearing stories of people actually sidestepping like paywalls and things like that. And so I'm sure that OpenAI had to take it down for a little while they configured the security settings of that. So now you can access ChatGPT with live real-time web browsing. Still work to do on that front, but it's back. In other news, do you guys remember talking about Google's Search Generative Experience, also known as SGE? We talked about it a few episodes back, how Google was piloting this program, and it's essentially an AI-driven search experience, right? So search generative experience. Right now on Google, if you just go on your regular old user, you're still going to have, regular Google results. But they are implementing more and more AI-driven solutions to aid in the search experience for users, and it's rolling out to more people. Case in point, it's now rolling out to teens aged 13 to 17 in the US. So far, it's been piloted on the 18 to 24 crowd, and it's been really lauded for its conversational search style, its accessibility, its ease of use. So now it is more accessible to younger generations, which we're going to see probably some more research around that in the coming months. But just an FYI, if you've got kids out there, you're a kid yourself listening to this, you might have access to it now. Pika Labs. So this is a cool text to video AI tool that has gotten a lot of praise over the last few months, especially with the release of their latest and greatest model, which you can access through Discord. That's the way that you can currently generate videos right now, and interact with the model directly. All you need is a few words and it turns it into a gorgeous video. And now they've released this fun little feature that allows you to actually encrypt a message in a video. It's very cool. Use that by just typing, I think it's /encrypt. All the directions are linked in the newsletter. So if you're looking for just kind of another way to spice up your video creation, especially if you're already playing with some of these generative tools, this could be a really cool way to kind of throw a little bit of texture, reels, not like Instagram reels or TikToks, but like a show reel for something. Lots of cool stuff that you can play around with there. People are having a great time with it. And I don't know how I would do this without AI. I guess that's the takeaway. Let's talk about what's going on in the social corners of the universe. So if you are making content, or you're a small business, or you are an entrepreneur, whatever it is, you're probably touching social media in some capacity. These are the updates that you need to know to make better, stronger, more efficient content, as well as just some things to keep an eye out for as they may impact your audiences or your workflow itself. First things first, TikTok is working on an ad-free experience. Obviously, you're going to have to pay for this, of course, but Android Authority spotted it and said that they've discovered some new strings in the latest version of the app, suggesting a possible $4.99 a month plan to keep, of course, your doom scrolling sessions uninterrupted. This is not a surprise, I would say. We've already seen, platforms starting to charge for things like verification. The platform's ability to have revenue streams outside of just advertising revenue, I think, is really crucial and critical. Now more than ever, as more creators are kind of building their own communities and more personal brands are popping up, it's really a crazy time to be alive and to be on social media, because at this point, anyone can be an influencer. TikTok, like X and like Meta, understand that people are willing to pay for an ad-free experience or pay for a premium experience. We're seeing this not only kind of in the micro scale of the creator economy, right? People are paying their favorite creators a monthly subscription to support them. How would paying for the platform you use in order to have a better experience really be any different? Users of these social platforms are placing more and more emphasis on the experience, and the platforms who normally would have had ad revenue consume the majority share of their profits or of their revenue are now starting to explore other opportunities, other paths to making money. And that includes offering ad-free experiences, offering premium subscriptions to users who don't want to have to deal with some of the other stuff, and kind of allowing people to pick and choose. I think that the future will include a landscape of social platforms that are all pay to play, or at least, you pay into it as kind of a baseline. There will probably always be free tiers, but that is where, the ad placements and some of the less than desirable features or things that you have to deal with, roadblocks we can call it, might pop up as on those free experiences. So TikTok is planning an ad-free experience. It's not the first to do so, and it's definitely not going to be the last to do so. This is going to be more and more commonplace. LinkedIn is actually rolling out some more display spots for profile CTA buttons, and they're now popping up in things like search results and feed posts. This was a thing that was launched back in April for premium users, and basically it lets you plug in a custom action that leads to a URL on your profile. You can plug things like your newsletter or your sign-up page or your new course or program, new product, new app sign-up, so all those things. And of course, if you're not trying to sell a product and you're just like a marketer, you want to collect leads or you want to share in interviews or things like that, then of course you can have different types of CTAs as well. The news and the takeaway here is that LinkedIn is making a heavy push for creators. We know this. They've been rolling out tons of features to try to get creators on board, including like the voices badges, the ability to write longer form content, these call to actions, easier collaborations and sponsorships, that kind of stuff. So it just gives people a more enticing reason, I think, to stick around on LinkedIn. And even if you're not a person like me, I'm like notoriously the worst at this. I fucking hate LinkedIn. If you've seen this meme or this video that we posted a couple weeks ago, very accurately sums up what the experience on LinkedIn is. So if you're like me and you're like, I just can't be bothered with it, these are kind of those quick win small things that really help your profile like stand out. So I think it's worth checking out if you're a creator or you're an entrepreneur on LinkedIn, or even hell, you just have like a product to show or something. Definitely worth checking those out, setting them up, and then kind of like hands off from there if you need to. Okay, last but not least, we're going to talk about our friends over at X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Our girl Linda Yaccarino gave a really weird interview last week. It was the Code Conference interview where she was the speaker. It left so many questions. She mentioned something like, oh yeah, we're going to be starting to charge users a small monthly payment to combat bots and da-da-da-da-da. People were like, wait, what? I thought that was just a thing that Elon joked about. And she was like, we're doing it. So that was really confusing. There were more questions than answers about things like daily active users, monthly users, hate speech, and whether or not X will actually charge for use of the platform. To clarify, though, ironically, after Linda gave her interview, X News Daily, which is kind of like the de facto news source on Twitter, nobody really knows who runs this account. It's just like an X account that tweets the news. This is how we get our news about Twitter. So to clarify, X News Daily posted that there are no plans to charge all users just to use X. Okay, we've got that clarified. But Linda Yaccarino also posted some official stats a few days later. The numbers kind of just confused things a little bit more. Maybe have a dedicated comms team that can like position the announcement properly, maybe package it up a little bit. You would think that a business entity like X would be able to solve for that. And it's worth noting too that, Twitter, X, and Elon Musk have been notoriously hard to get in touch with for reporters, tech reporters especially, and he tends to have a lot of his announcements go directly through X, oftentimes through X News Daily, or he'll just tweet it out directly. So for reference, that's how we get the majority of our news on the platform, formerly known as Twitter. It just comes in the form of posts on X. Can't wait to see that comms team one day. Other things happening over on X, celeb collabs. X is also trying to splash around in the influencer pool, right? So they're getting more and more of a strategy to make a video push. And we've seen this on X in the form of longer video limits, stream shows. X is partnering with the one and only, the OG reality star, Paris Hilton, to sign the first ever celeb collab with X officially. Apparently, this is an official partnership with Paris Hilton, X, and Paris Hilton's next generation media company called 1111. Together, we're creating a launch pad for new initiatives in video, live commerce, spaces, and so much more. That, according to Linda Yaccarino, who posted about the collaboration announcement last week. First of many, likely. I'm really curious though, because Paris Hilton doesn't strike me as somebody who would just go off the cuff and sign a deal if she didn't really believe in the platform. Although maybe. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. I'm excited to see how this one shakes out though. I'll definitely be tuning in. I think it's going to be a good blueprint or use case to see if X can prove this out and probably iterate on future collaborations with big names and celebrities. We'll see how it goes. X is also rolling out a new feature that's letting you pin almost everything. So from communities to search updates, search queries. The idea is that it makes navigation easier. It revamps in-app timelines. Unclear if people are actually going to like this feature. I'll probably use it, actually, now that I think about it. DM boosting for subscribers is coming. So creators on X will have the ability soon, if it's not already rolled out to you already, to toggle your DMs to be available only for paying subscribers. If you are a creator on X and you're looking for another way to kind of add value to your subscriber base, this is definitely a good one. You can allow just your subscribers to DM you. And obviously this helps prioritize that. Of course, subscribers get this cool little badge next to their name anyways as well. Easy kind of little surprise and delight. Definitely a good way to connect with subscribers and give them a little something extra for being part of your community. Oh, last but not least, I did want to just add this. This wasn't actually covered in our newsletter last week because the news just broke. X will soon be removing like counts and repost counts on feed posts. So you won't see visibility into how many people like a post or how many people reposted or retweeted or requoted or whatever we're calling it these days. So the only thing that you'll be able to see when you're scrolling on your feed is the view count for something. I think this is actually going to help prioritize quality of content. It's worth noting too that you'll be able to like open up the tweet and see the specific counts for everything, but it wouldn't surprise me if that feature went away at some point soon too. More on that to come, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on it. I'm really curious to see visually how that's going to look in Twitter's UI. Definitely looking to declutter the experience. At least that's what Elon Musk said, that it'll be cleaner, neater, more organized, and really help to, again, prioritize content that people care about rather than just the subconscious influence of looking at a post and automatically seeing those vanity metrics. Other platforms have tried to do this as well. Instagram has notoriously removed the like counts at one point and then brought them back, now making them optional for users. With Twitter going the same way, I think it definitely speaks volumes to just the cultural shift that's also happening on these platforms. Quality truly is king. Quality, quantity, at the same time. If you can make that happen, you'll win out. All right, guys, and that is it for this week's episode of the Sauce Pod. Nice, short, sweet, simple. Like I said, we do have some special guests lined up, and we're actually going to release an episode this week, so keep an eye out, keep an ear out. You can follow us wherever you stream your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, on our website, on our Substack. And don't forget to sign up to our weekly newsletter at thesauceffs.substack.com. That's where you can get all of the goods, including some primers on different topics like AI tools for creators, how to build a personal brand, or how to design if you're not a designer. That's where we send out our weekly newsletters every week for creators and for entrepreneurs who are just looking to build up and understand what the hell is going on in this digital age. We will be back again next week. Ciao.
Guys, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Sauce Pod. Hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe even learned a thing or two. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every Monday night. All of the latest and greatest tips, news, and trends for content creators and digital entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay saucy.